It was my first time in New Orleans. I had decided to go on a ghost walking tour. What a great way to see the city. I met up with the crowd at Reverend Zombie's voodoo shop. My tour guide, Renee, chose me to be in his group, and we gathered and followed him like a line of baby ducks down the street. We stopped at Pat O'Brien's bar. This was to be our first destination, and walked through the alcove one at a time, where we gathered in a large, grand courtyard. Renee began telling the story of what had occurred there between a couple that had lived there. At that moment, I went into the vision. It is as if the group I was with disappeared, and suddenly I was watching the story play out. Up on the third floor of the building, a man got in a fight with his wife. He hit her and he pushed her down the steps to the second floor, where there was a row of windows that went over the courtyard where we had walked into it from the alcove. He opened the window and threw the body out. Thunk! I could feel it hit the ground. He ran down the steps, down to the ground floor, grabbed a shovel, and grabbed the limp, lifeless body and began to drag it across the courtyard towards me. At that point, Renee had stopped, and I realized I wasn't even paying attention to the story he was telling. He asked the crowd, "What do you think came next?" Crickets. No one answered. I started to move, and a little boy, about 12 years old, came running over and looked right up at me, waiting for me to finish the story. I swallowed, and then I continued. And then he came down the steps. He grabbed a shovel, and he grabbed what appeared to be the lifeless body, and he dragged it. I could feel it go through me. It was as if I had opened the doors to a dank, cold cellar. And then what, Renee said as he moved closer to me. It's as if he went right through me, Renee, and then began to dig. Kazhunk, 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 into the ground, right there, in the courtyard. And then he placed the body in, but oh no! What, Renee said. She wasn't dead. She was still alive. And that's the ghost story of Pat O'Brien.